Welcome to this webinar. Here we are going to discuss the most important problem which many people have faced, and that is the problem of procrastination. So, my name is Supak Shah, and I would like you to welcome to this webinar. And I am so proud of you that you have taken that step of trying to learn new insights, trying to learn new action step that will help you to avoid that procrastination. Because a lot of people just blame themselves or the society or I don't know their willpower, and they just don't get things done. They just keep on procrastinating. These people might be writing books for years. These people might be creating any course, I don't know, for a decade. They might be always thinking that I will change job, I will do this, I will do that, but they are not doing it. And sadly, even I have been in that phase, and I'm sure some part of your life you are also stuck out there. And that is why it makes me a proud feeling that you are out here and trying to learn new insights that will help you to get over that. So, welcome to this webinar on how to overcome procrastination. Now, whenever we hear this word procrastination, the definition is quite simple. It's an act of delaying things, it's act of putting things afterwards. But I feel that's a part definition. Yes, that's the part definition. Then what is the exact definition? I would prefer the exact definition out here is the act of delaying important things in place of urgent things. So there are two kind of procrastinators I have seen. One who are very clear they don't do, they are just doing time pass, they're watching movies or just chilling out with their friends. And these people are very clear. I don't think they procrastinate, I don't think they are usually lazy. But there are other people who are working, but still they feel they're not able to get the things done, they're not being productive. And they always have that urge, I have to get this work done. I don't know, they always have this inner urge of they're not happy with their work, they're not satisfied. There is some major work which is not happening because there is so much other work. And that is the procrastination which many people don't get it, and that is actually that hurts you more. In a place of important thing, you just do the urgent thing. For example, if let's say workout is an important thing, but one day if you skip it, it's not going to matter. And that is why the moment a call comes from your colleague or an important meeting lines up, you just say yes and you go for it. What you're doing, you're substituting important work with an urgent one. Now, that is where majority of us fail, and that is why I'm sure you're a busy person. You're not a Tom, Dick, and Harry who is just randomly come out here and trying to watch some webinar. You're very focused in your life, and I actually appreciate you for it. Now, that is the reason you feel that even though you're in the motion, you're not reaching anywhere, and that is because you're doing just urgent stuff and not important. So that's why I'm so proud of you that you are out here, and what we are going to do is just going to blow your mind. And this is simple stuff, trust me. This is not some, I don't know, jargon which you're going to hear. These are simple things, simple mindset shift, with simple action steps that you can do just right now once you're done with the webinar. So be excited. What we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss why procrastination happens in the first place, and in that you will get a lot of aha moments and also action step. And even that, it's more of a mindset shift that is required. It's not something like you have to go out and you have to push 500 kgs. It's not that hard work. It's just the mental shift and following that action steps that is going to require, and that will help you to overcome your procrastination. So let's begin. Let me ask you one important question. Why do you procrastinate? Now, these are the three options. One, because you are lazy. Second, you don't have enough discipline. Or three, you aim for perfection. Yes, the options are very simple. First, you're lazy. Second, you don't have discipline. Third, you aim for perfection. So let me know what's your answer. Put that in the comment section or in WhatsApp group, wherever you can connect with me. It can be comment, WhatsApp, wherever. Just put it. The whole objective of me asking you to comment is because the more you engage, the more you'll remember things. If you sit back and you're like, oh, I'm just going to watch and I will learn something. No, even if you learn something, you'll forget it quickly. So that is why what I want you to do is put that in the comment section. Out of 1, 2, or 3, is it either lazy, it is either don't have any discipline, or you aim for perfection? What is the reason for procrastination? So I hope you have answered. Now let me give you the answer. The reason for procrastination is not that you are lazy or not that you don't have enough discipline. The actual reason is because you aim for perfection. Now, this sounds weird, this does not sound right, and trust me, even I had the same mindset when I heard this for the first time. How a person aiming for perfection will procrastinate. In fact, that person will be very disciplined. Right? Wrong. The reason you are aiming for perfection. Now the challenge happens this moment you're aiming for perfection, you just have this big goal and you end up procrastinating on it, because you will say, if I'm going to write, I will write the best book ever. If I'm going to work out, I will build a six-pack app. So it's always that thing of the perfection that is stopping you. So that is why you need to understand that you are a human being. Yes, you are the human being. So that is why you need to let go of that. You need to be okay with the failures. You need to be okay with the setbacks. Just because you are starting something, that does not mean you will be 100% ahead. You will fail, you will pause, you will take a lot of time to learn things, and you got to be comfortable with that. If you are not comfortable, trust me, that is where the problem arises. And that is why please let go of your goal of perfection. So a lot of things, if you reflect in your life on where you're procrastinating, can be workout, I don't know, it can be reading, or usually these are the major two which people procrastinate. And third, let's say you want to find a new job, and here every time you want to do a workout like a very professional athlete, reading, it should be reading multiple books, many books, and even if it's a job, you have to get the best job, and in that process you end up not even starting the task, or doing it to perfection. You don't even start it, and even though you might have started it, you don't complete it, because you're like, if I show this, people will criticize me, people will say this is not a great job. So I have many friends who I know have started writing a book, but in between they have left the book, because they are like, I want to write the best ever book, I want to edit the chapter again and again. And the reason I'm not coming out with the book is because I want to make a perfect book. Trust me, perfection does not exist. Perfection does not exist. Everyday growth, that is more important. So please, that's the number one reason why people procrastinate, because there is always a goal for perfection. Before I share the second reason why people procrastinate, let me ask you a simple question. What happens when you don't find that motivation to work? Option 1, you find motivation from outside. Option 2, you find motivation from inside. Third, you stop doing the work. Now, these are three options. Tell me, what will be the answer? Of course, the answer is very simple. It is because you have to find the motivation from inside. And that is the main reason I've seen a lot of times when people want to lose weight, when people want to read books, when people want to achieve, I don't know, that success, that promotion, etc., etc. But in reality, those are not their goals. That is something society has been telling them, their wife, their partner is bothering them to get to do it. But sadly, they are not doing it, and that is the reason why majority of people are not able to do it, because those are not your tasks. So I get a lot. Trust me, I have done a webinar on how to create habits. So you can definitely see that if you have the inner motivation and if you're still not able to do it, just check out that webinar. Link will be in the description. But like 90% of time, if people are procrastinating on things, and if I have a deep level questions to them, it turned out they did not want to do it in the first place. The only reason they are doing it is because the society has told them, the partner has told them. So please, you got to find your motivation from inside. What is your core reason of losing that weight? What is your core reason of stop eating that junk? What is your core reason of finding that new job? If you don't have it, trust me, you will not be able to do it. So please find your inner motivation. Now let's come to the third reason on why people procrastinate. So the third reason, okay, before I tell you, again there is a question and I want you to answer in the comment section, and engage. The more you predict, the more you try to guess what is going to come next, automatically the learning becomes quicker, the retention becomes longer. So that is why please engage with me. So the question is, do you feel fear of success? is cause of procrastination. Yes, you heard it right. Fear of success, that I will achieve big things in life, is the cause of procrastination. Do you feel that is possible? If yes, then the first option is yes, second option is no, third option is I don't care. Yes, no, I don't care. What do you think? So I'm sure if you are like me, you would have said, no, how can be the fear of success can be the reason for procrastination? And again, that is why this webinar is like, I feel it's very good content that is out there, because we always feel that this is not the reason, but trust me, that is the reason. Because what happens is, every time we feel that we'll achieve this thing, then we see we have to do this, and this. If I get this promotion, I have to work more hard. If I do this workout, I have to follow diet, I have to do this, that, etc. Every time we feel that if we achieve something as per our goal, we feel that then we have to do 10 different things, and we then get overwhelmed and we just don't do things. I know this is something which I took quite a lot of time to actually, okay, quite a lot of time to actually even believe that this is a reason for procrastination. And then when I realized it and I started seeing the patterns, I realized, wow, this is also a reason for procrastination. You have seen a lot of people who will be like, why you're trying new things? Just be out there. If you do new things, you might fail, and if you do not fail, boss might like it, and you will have to do all the hard work. So you will see a lot of these people out there who, first of all, are so much into a comfort zone that they don't want to do things. And even if they decide somewhere that it is now a necessity to do the things, they will be like, what if I get successful? Then I will have to do again and again and again, more work, more work, more work. They say, it's good, I have a simple life. I go to 9 to 5 job, I have a kids, and I'm happy with it. But if I want to go on entrepreneur journey, even if you decide to take the step, even if you become successful, it's a hectic schedule. And that is the reason many people don't start their journey. It's not because they don't know things, it's not because they can't be perfect at their work. No one can be perfect, but they know their stars, but still they are not doing it. They even have the inner motivation, but there is a fear that once I achieve this, I will have to work more hard. Once I achieve here, I have to work more, and once I achieve here, I have to more hard, and there is more responsibility. I'm answerable to a lot of people, so I don't want to get in that. I'm quite happy and peaceful with my life. So fear of success is also responsible. So now what I want you to do is just pause the video and reflect on these 3 things. Okay, just write down, okay, take a piece of paper and write down what is that one thing you're procrastinating on. Let's say it's a workout. I'm not doing workout regularly. Now we know the 3 reasons, right? Either first, it's very simple. We feel that we want to do a perfect workout, and that is why you want to do gym, you want to follow diet, you want to do 10 different things, and that is why you'll end up doing nothing. That can be the reason. Second, you don't have enough motivation, so someone is telling you to do it, and that is why you're doing it. Third, the reason can be very simple, like you feel that if I want to achieve this, I have to make so many changes, and even after I achieve this, you'll be like, I've seen a lot of people who lose weight but again gain weight, so it's a lifelong journey. I don't want to do it, I'm happy with my belly fat. So that can be the reason also. The reasons can be all 3, or reason can be any one of it. Right now, just pause the video and reflect. What is the true reason? If you find out the reason, trust me, half the battle is won, because you know what mindset is stopping you in the first place. So please pause the video, write down one thing, what you're procrastinating on, find out the reason, and kaboom, then we can go to the next phase of the mindset shift and action steps that will help you to overcome the procrastination. Now, once we got to know 3 reasons on how we procrastinate, now we are going to learn 5 ways to overcome it. Yes, 5 ways that will help you to overcome procrastination. So again, I will start with a question. So the question is, what should be the first step to stop procrastination? What should be the first step to stop procrastination? And here are the options. 1. Beat yourself up. 2nd, push yourself. 3rd, find your pattern. I'm repeating. 1. Beat yourself up. 2nd, push yourself. 3rd, find your pattern. And I'm sure if you are with me till here, you're getting to know that beating yourself, pushing yourself is not the way. So the answer is you need to find your pattern. Now I will discuss more about it. Now what you need to do is, I just want you to forget about everything for, let's say, next 3 days, and I want you to just write your schedule. Okay, just write it, not follow it. It's not to be written in the morning. Write it at the end. This is what I did in the day. So that's 8 to 10 I worked on this area. 12 to 1 lunch, 2 to 4 I did this. Now you have a set of time and you have a set of work done in that time. And now once you see it, now I want you to reflect on the type of work you did. First, were they important? Or second, they were not important? Or you did it just because it was urgent? Or you just did it because you were feeling bored? Or you did it even though you were not supposed to do it? There were other people, you just did not have the patience, or you did not have the enough, I don't know, the guidelines, or even follow a process so that others will do it and you have to just check it. You just went with the flow. So I want you to reflect. Write down all your tasks for next 3 days and every day reflect, hey, this was important but was not supposed to do right now. I could have done it later. I could have focused on other important tasks which I desperately need to grow in life. If I ignore them right now, they will come haunting me next week. So that is where, see, I agree with you. There are some emergencies that will pop up and you can't do anything about it. But that's just once in a week occurrence. It does not occur daily or every hour. It might take a half a day maximum. That's it if there is an unseen emergency coming. Rest of the time you have a very well structure of your schedule. It's in your control. So I don't want you to judge. I just want you to write down for next 3 days that during this to this time I did this to this time I did this, and then segregate your work. See where you are spending more time. And the problem is, if you see, you are spending more time on the urgent matter and not important. The difference between urgent can be answering your phone call. It's urgent, someone is calling me. That's not important. I can text them, I can call 30 minutes later if it is some random person. But we have so, I don't know, that instinct to get onto it, check that email, everything. The urgent takes the priority, and the important work, which is about strategizing, which is about thinking next step, everything takes a back step. So please bear with me, and for next 3 days, write down your schedule so that we know, hey, you are spending too much time out here, and you are supposed to not spend time out here, but you're supposed to do other tasks. You're spending too much time on TV. You might be doing workout at that time, or sometimes it can be you're spending too much time in meeting where you're not even required to go. Delegate it, give it to someone else. So make a list of your schedule, see the work where you're spending more time, and see how you can substitute less important work or less urgent work with something that is more important to you right now. If writing is your goal, I don't want you to spend time on social media, or even if that means researching more and more. Start writing what you already know, and then you can keep on researching and editing it. So you need to be clear. First step is you need to be clear where you are procrastinating and how it is occurring. It is occurring because you're doing unnecessary tasks, or the tasks you feel are important but in reality they are not, and you won't get that reflection until unless you write it down. So that's the step number one. Find out your pattern. Take a piece of paper for next 3 days, write down your schedule once you are done with it, and see where you are ending up spending more time of it, and then how you can change it. So that's tip number one. Now the step number two is very logical. It's once you know your schedule, once you know it, you're changing it. Now it's more, first step was more about reflecting on what we are doing right now, and we are just being an observer to it. Now we should become the predictor of it. We should start predicting what are going to be the next steps of it. So what I want you to do is, after once you 3 day reflect where you are procrastinating, I want you to now create a schedule which you will follow. Initial 3 days you are creating a schedule, at the end of the day just to see this is what you did. Now I want you to create a schedule in the morning, and you will stick to it, and sometimes you will fail, and in that schedule you have to be very clear on putting the important task first. Okay, if it's not first but somewhere on the priority, you should create that schedule in that way. If you don't do that, it's going to be very difficult. So mentally, please First, reflect, work on your past, see where you are presently making mistake, and then it's planning for the better future. And if you're not planning for that better future, you're going to be stuck in the past. So the step number two is, I would really recommend that you take now a piece of paper in the morning and write down your schedule. Even if you don't meet it 10 on 10, I'm happy. But if you feel these are the five things, I need to work out 30 minutes, I need to meditate 30 minutes, I need to write my new book for, like, say, a couple of hours. Even if the 3 hours is very well scheduled and you get these three things done, boom, you are having a productive day, and step by step it will happen. So trust me when I say step number two, get a schedule and try to follow it as best as you can do it. So that's it. And then let's move on to step number three. So step three is something which I always get an extreme reply. People who love it are like, wow, this is the best step ever. People who hate it, they are like, I don't want to do it. But sadly, it works. So you have to do it. Again, I'm not forcing you. I will definitely try to make you understand the psychology behind it. So every time, it's the words that we say to ourselves build up that pressure. If I always say, oh, I don't want to do this task because I don't know, it's always getting late and I have to stay late, I have to work more hard, I don't like it. So we always feel like we are giving out the power, and a lot of times we still end up doing those tasks because those are in our KRAs, or those are the must do things for us. So anyways, we do it. We just put on, I don't know, try to make us feel like, oh, I'm so sorry, people should feel sorry for me that I have to do so many things. But that's not the case. It's all about what the story you tell to yourself. So the next step is you need to change your self-talk. Now the self-talk is basically the talk which you have with yourself on daily basis. And trust me, anyone and everyone talks a lot with themselves. People can be introvert and extrovert, that is about outward, but internally everyone talks a lot with themselves. So if we can change that self-talk, boom, you're going to be a better executor. I will give you a simple example, and trust me, you guys will love it. Definitely, I'm going to refer notes out here because there are things which I don't want to miss, because those are mind blowing. And I'm sure if you have a pen of paper, what if get a pen and paper and start writing them down. So the first thing is you need to change I have to I choose to. So every time I have to work till night to finish this work, you see, I choose to stay till night, so I'm done. So tomorrow I can have a fresh day. So every time you're using the word, I have to do this for my family, I have to do this for my partner, I have to do this for my job, change it to I choose to. See the power of words. The moment I say I choose to do this webinar, it gives me a lot of power. And rather than, no, I have to do it because a lot of people want to do it, no, I choose to do it. See, even the moment you say I choose to do it, it gives you that aha moment, it gives you that positive energy. So that's the first thing. Change all your I have to's to I choose to. So the next out here is finishing. Now when I say I want to finish this task, I want to finish this file, I want to finish this project, I want to finish this book, it feels like it's too much of a work, and I will keep on procrastinating it because I have to finish it. Change I must finish this to when can I start. The moment I say I must finish this file, you're like, oh, it will take me 8 hours, and no, that's too much work. I have to again focus. I don't want to do it. But if I say, when can I start? I can say, I want to do the file. Let's start at 1. And once you start, definitely that inertia is done and the work will take over, and you will spend 8 hours, the same time that is required, but you will not realize how much effort you have to put every time to mentally convince you, because it's just about when you are starting. It's a simple step. You just have to start. So whenever people say to me that they're not comfortable with camera, I just say to them, just click on the camera button and start. Once you start, that it has that power, automatically that inertial momentum takes up and the snowball effect happens. So sometimes I don't feel like recording for even 5 minutes, and but if I once hit that play, I can once I hit that record button, I can go for a couple of hours. So please just put it, when can I start? I don't say that I want to finish this webinar in XYZ time. I just say I want to start at 9, and then let's see how much time it takes. So replace I must finish to I when can I start. So that's second. Next is something I'm sure this is something what you're going to love. Now, every time you're like, this is a big project, this is a big thing, this is a 90-day commitment, this is 120-day commitment. When you use this kind of words, you automatically get overwhelmed. So rather than using big, you need to just see the first milestone. That's it. What is an important thing? You need to change that this is a big project to what is the one small step I can take today. Yeah, your big goal can be losing, I don't know, 30 pounds or 15, 20 kgs, whatever your goal is. If you see that you're going to get overwhelmed, but what you can see is in a week, I have to just lose a pound. That's it. I have to just lose a pound. That's not difficult things to do. And the moment you start seeing small things, and then once you do them, there's a confidence competence loop that comes into the picture. The moment you are competent enough, you feel more confident. You feel for a couple of weeks you're able to lose that one pound, automatically you feel you can do it right now. But if you see it in the start itself, you see 30 pounds and every day you keep on minusing, oh, still 29 to go, 28 to go. So rather than seeing it a big, just say where I can start. So that's third change in the self-talk you need to do. Let's come to the next. Now, this is something which also goes to the first point why people procrastinate, is because having that feeling of I must be perfect, I will be so best at my work. To change it, that I am a human and I will do the best I can, but it won't be perfect. I might make a mistake. There is a possibility, but I will learn and I will grow. Only the dead, I don't know, perfect, but others are keep on growing. So it's completely fine. So let go of that perfect world. Let go of that perfect works. Every time you feel like having that perfect thing, just pause and say, I am a human and I will do the best I can. That's it. And be okay to fail. There's nothing wrong in failure. In fact, if you want to be more successful, double your failure. The more you fail, it is more you learn and more you move ahead in life. So now step 4, before I discuss that, I want to ask you a simple question. Is procrastination a good thing or a bad thing? Tell me, good or bad? Now, if you're like listening till here, you're like, come on, it's a basic sense, procrastination is a bad thing. And in fact, Rupak, that is the reason you're doing this webinar and where you're giving us how to beat procrastination. And what kind of silly question is this? Trust me, it's a very important question. Do you feel procrastination is a good or bad thing? And I'm sure if you're like others, you'll say procrastination is a bad thing. But in reality, procrastination is a good thing. Write down in the comment section, procrastinate is a good thing, procrastinate is a good thing. I will give you the reason for it. Procrastinate is a good thing provided you are in control of it. You have to be in control of it. You should say, I'm procrastinating this 4 things so I can focus on this one thing. So procrastination behavior will always be there, but it will be in your control. You procrastinate on them so that you can focus on important tasks. And that is where step number 4 comes in, is follow a daily ritual. Now, what is a daily ritual? It's a structured 2 hours of your time where you do that task only. So let's say it's a workout, you do it. Let's say it's thinking about some new project, you do it. You protect it. That's your morning ritual. You try to protect those 2 hours, those 3 hours, and that is where you procrastinate on all other things except that thing. And so that is why procrastination is a good thing. And have a daily ritual, or if it's not a morning ritual, you can do it at night, do it in the afternoon. But that is your sacred time. It's like going to a temple. Religious people who are so protective of it, I want you to be protective of those 2-3 hours which is required to do your most important work. So have a daily ritual. It can be 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, based on what is your important task and how much time is required. And you got to protect it with everything. And on the same line brings to my 5th step. You need to learn to say no. There is no harm. Just because someone will ask you, hey, will you do me a favor? It's completely fine to say, I'm busy with other things. Will you ask, I don't know, let's say any other colleague to do it? It's completely fine to say no. I give you that permission. Please say no if you can't manage it. Don't overload yourself so that you might skip up on your goals. See, as they say in plane, first you have to wear your own mask before helping others to do it. So in that way, it's your sacred time. It's your important things are more important than trying to help others. I'm not saying you should not help others. all. You can always give a way out. You can always give them resources. You can always connect with the right people if you're busy. And so it's not either or situation. You can create win-win out here also. You can be like, hey, I'm busy, but my friend can help you in that. He's also expert like me. And I'm sure you know a lot of people who can help with the same query rather than you have to do it. So please learn to say no. There is no harm. I give you that permission. Learn to say no to the important, sorry, learn to say no to the urgent task and focus on important work. Yes, few people might not like it. Few people will be like, I don't like this new attitude, but trust me, this is important. In long run, these are the people who will actually appreciate you. Hey, you remember this person? He has now grown so much and he's so focused. You cannot go randomly into his cabin and ask him for the work. You have to he's very structured. He has a schedule and you have to approach him accordingly. And trust me, the same people who are criticizing right now, he will criticize once you start applying this action step, will be your biggest fan followers once you achieve that success. So these are the 5 ways in which you can beat procrastination. And the reason this is a shorter webinar as compared to my other webinar, again the same reason. Come on, it's a video on procrastination. I'm sure a lot of people are facing this challenge and they feel like getting some new content will help them to get rid of the procrastination. I have done my best, read books, saw the videos and tried to just everything, try to come up with everything in one simple video content so that you go out and start applying it. What you apply out matters. And you again need to remember the beauty of beating procrastination is it's not something that you have to do the hard work more and more. It's just the mindset shift. It's just a few structure in your life and kaboom, your life is going to be so awesome. So please follow this 5 action step and remember those mindset. Let go of that perfect mindset. Let go of the fear of success. We'll see what happens at that time. So these are the ways in which you can beat procrastination. So let's quickly summarize. First, let go of the perfectionist attitude. You are a human. You will make mistakes. Second, as we discussed, and also we had a Q&A around that, it's completely fine to let go of things which you started from outer motivation and try to focus on inner motivation. And finally, it's all about you. You got to remember it. Once you know it's coming from inner motivation, you now have to feel proud. You should accept that success. You should be ready to work more and more. You should not fear success. What happens if I become a famous? Everywhere there will be photos, 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 and I don't want it. No, that's not the case. So please, please let go the fear of success. And then 5 action steps, what we discussed. First, find out your pattern. Next, create a schedule so that you do the important task and not urgent task. Third, boom, change your self-talk. You got to change that part. You need to feel like every time you're choosing to, not being forced to. Fourth, create a ritual. It's ritual, it's not even a schedule. Create a ritual where you protect your sacred time of important things. And fifth, learn to say no for the things that does not matter or is not helping you right now. So remember, procrastination is not a good or bad thing. It's a good thing if you're in control of it. You're procrastinating on all the other work which is not helping you to your goal and you're focused out there. So procrastination is actually a good thing. If I can change your mindset of looking towards procrastination, just a tool, you got to control it. And if you control it, kaboom, you're going to be the most productive person the world has ever seen. So in the comment section, write down procrastination is a good thing, provided I control it, and I will control it. So you need to write it down. I will control my procrastination. I will control my procrastination. Write it down in the comment section. I'm going to repeat it a couple of more times till you don't write it. I will control my procrastination. So that's it from this webinar. I'm sure it added a lot of value, aha moments. Tell me what your greatest learning was, and if there are any other steps that has helped you a lot, kaboom, put that in the comment section. I'm sure the community will also like to learn. So if you like the procrastination webinar, there are webinars which I've done on various topics on how to create habits. Trust me, you will like that. Please go and watch it. The link will be in description. And there are a lot of e-courses on various topics like speed reading, how to memorize things quickly, how to have confidence call, etc. etc. There are so many good content that we have created. The link will be in the description. Click, go learn, keep learning. I'm so proud that you're seeing till here, and I'm sure you will achieve great things in your life. So all the best, keep growing.